Anxiety, tension, as well as hope can best describe the feelings of Nigerians since the assumption of the new administration, which came to power in May 29, 2023. President Bola Tinubu, in his inaugural speech, assures Nigerians of a renewed hope and new dawn as it poised to tackle challenges in areas of security, education, health, agriculture, economy, and so on. What are the expectations of the people, and how can their hopes and aspirations be fulfilled? That is the focus on our program, Saturday Discuss, as we bring you a public affairs analyst to discuss more on the president's inaugural speech, not forgetting other stories that will inform you about the happenings in other sectors. I am Frama Panyi. Welcome. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration's agenda of repositioning the country on the path of economic growth and development is no longer news in the public domain. Onoze Yakubu brings us up to speed on the takeaways from the president's inaugural speech during the oath-taking and allegiance as the 16th Nigerian leader of the country.
Top on the list of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's agenda for the nation are issues of security, job creation for the teeming youths, increased gross domestic products through local manufacturing, and currency swap policy review, as well as the removal of fuel subsidy, which he says will be used for better investment in public infrastructure, education, healthcare, among others. Some FCT residents are, however, optimistic that the president's Renew Hope mantra will come to reality.
Bola Tinubu is, will I say, is a special person in the sense that whatever he says that he wants to do, he is somebody who, before he say it, he already know what he wanted to do. He has a plan. He has already looked at it. Before he say it out, he know, okay, he has this problem, how do you go about it? He know whom to work with and achieve whatever I want to. So whenever I say anything, he's not just saying it at that moment. It's not that somebody whisper it to him. He must have worked on it. He must have looked at it. He must have seen how that problem is going to solve before, because he always wants to be held by his word.
When you look at the president himself, he's not a sentimental personality. He's a man that understands the feeling of people. And pertaining to security and other economic development side, I promise you, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our president, is a man that will make the Renew Hope a reality, God's willing.
What he has done in Lagos, from there we can judge him. Because if you look at the security situation of Lagos before his emergence, it has really improved. Come to think of revenue generation, it has improved too. So if he comes to the federal level with that mind, definitely, if he can combine a very formidable team economically, then there is hope.
Respect for the rule of law, the president says, will be his watchword as he promises to govern Nigerians and not to rule over them. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been described as a visionary leader whose style of leadership since his days as governor of Lagos State till date has been unique, Hence, their devotion in prayers for victory was not in vain. This was a submission of Muslim and Christian clerics who converged under the umbrella of the Nigerian Clerics Association to pray and appreciate God on behalf of the newly inaugurated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Rosemary Morteleng Bilal reports.
This gathering is for one purpose, to pray in unison for the success of the new administration led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The group, who are optimistic with his track record, expressed confidence that Nigeria should be patient and give the new administration time to execute campaign promises.
It's not about age, it's about what he can deliver. And all we owe him is prayer, that God will grant him quality men and women that will have Nigeria at heart and deliver to us the dividends of democracy. That is what we are praying for. That is what we are looking for.
We are here, to dedicate and also to pray and wish that this come to reality, because we hope that it's not just going to be a dream achievement, but also a dream achieved and implemented.
The organizers said Nigerians' choice of electing Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president was a right one.
We're involved in election observers to make sure that our president, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu, become the president that we have today, because we believe in him so much.
He has worked, we have seen what he has done when he was the governor of Lagos State, and we expect more as the president of the Federal Republic.
The Nigerian Clerics Association is an organization who always devotes their time to seek the face of God in prayers for the success of the nation. Rosemary Morteleng Bilal, NTA News.
Now, after the successful swearing-in of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the 16th president of Nigeria, the society's expectations on him are high. Tessie Omeri was out to get a feel of it in this report.
Global attention was literally shifted to Nigeria as about 65 world leaders, including heads of state, were on ground to grace the colorful event. However, the Nigerian people see things from a different perspective in their thoughts about this development, which is coming with demands ranging from good governance, improved security to other needs.
The speech of His Excellency the President, it really brings hope and ginger us back that Nigeria is going to be better. But one thing I want everybody to understand that is a dual process and it's a dual responsibility. Who will be responsible, and the presidency and the government at large, from the most important to the least important.
He should open the border so that the issue of food too should be far better than the former administration. And the issue of
transition on the back of renewed hope, they say, brings optimism.
I look forward with hope that this time around a lot of the things that Nigerians are yearning for will materialize.
The problem of Nigeria that all people talking about is leadership for all this while. So if we get leader who can take care of the people and who can show the way, by the God grace, we are praying we get much more different changes that would affect the life of the whole citizens of this country.
All eyes are now on the new administration to see how it will utilize the nation's resources effectively for the common good of all. Tessie Omeri, NTA News.
Joining us virtually to discuss more on the expectations of Nigeria is Professor Yisa Kende Yusuf, a public affairs analyst from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. You're welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us on the news at 7 on NTA Channel 5, Abuja.
Thank you.
Now let's get straight into it. It is a new dawn as reflected by the president's speech. By this statement, what do you think the president means?
Well, again, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my views on this new dawn in our dear country. One, which is the very current issue now, is the issue of fuel. And you can see that many people are really hopeful that with the bold step that the president has taken, we will now have a lot more sanity in the oil industry, and people will be able to focus more on productive activities. Two, business people have always been complaining about multiple taxes as a disincentive um, to investment. Now, these multiple taxes as a set of things that have brought us back economically. Now, what the president has also boldly tried to tackle. Three, he's talked about infrastructure, which excites me personally because of traveling, and I know the condition of our roads. But with respect to infrastructure, I would want him to consider rural infrastructure, because agric is trying to retake its place of pride in Nigeria's economy now. And one of the problems that we have always had is that of access to those rural areas where you have a lot of very suitable land, very fertile land for agriculture. I recall that in the Babangida era, there was this program of rural development. I believe that the Tinubu administration should embark on a modified form of that program so that we can strategically do a kind of redistribution of a population. Urbanization is one of the problems that we have in this country. So if rural development is made a priority in the structure agenda of the president, I believe that the results are going to be really, really fine for us as a. The president has also talked about employment. He has talked about enhancement of the GDP. All these are welcome, and I personally have discussed with others, and I can see that people are really excited, even in spite of the immediate pains that we are all suffering due to the removal of subsidy. We are hopeful that this would be just for a while, and that the good days are not long from coming.
Talking about
Thank
some of the things President Tinubu mentioned, he said, and I quote, remodeling our national home in his speech. Now, what does that mean, remodeling our national
Remodeling
home?
national. Could you?
Okay, he mentioned in his speech, remodeling our
Right.
national home. Can you help us understand what that means?
Okay. Who? Could you? The last
Remodeling the
word,
national
please.
home.
National hope.
Home.
National hope,
Home.
right? Oh, can. Sorry, please. I'm having
Professor Yisa, can you
difficulty
hear me?
deciphering. Uh, yes, I can hear you now.
Now, I asked the meaning of
Okay.
what President Tinubu said, and I quote, remodeling our
Okay.
national home.
National home.
Yes.
Sorry, I have a problem with deciphering what you're saying, please.
Our country.
Okay, remodeling a country. Okay. You see, one of the issues that we need to pay attention to as a nation is to make this country a more attractive habitation for everybody, an attractive destination for those who want to come from abroad. And one of the problems that we have had is that stereotypes, negative stereotypes about this country, prejudices have been spread both abroad and also within the country about Nigeria as a very hostile environment, about Nigeria as an irredeemably bad environment. I believe that it is important to pay a lot of attention to this. We have a national orientation agency. I would want, in this regard, to implore the president to enhance the opportunities for that agency to do the kind of work it used to do in the past. And I want to refer again to the days of MAM, where everybody, I mean, at the time when everybody was conscious of the fact that effort was being made by governments to make people reimagine this nation. And people found that exciting. I had personal experiences at that time, and I look forward to the Tinubu administration doing an even improved version of MAMSA. Let him give whatever is required to enhance the fortunes of the NOA or a related new agency so that people can start to believe in this country again. We have youth who the only thing they're thinking about is what is now called Jagba. They want to leave because the only thing they read, both on the social media and even the things they hear from adults, is that this country is a hopeless country. And that's why I'm also happy that renewed hope is one of the mottos, one of the principles, one of the philosophies of this administration. So we need strong institutional facilities to redirect our opinion, a kind of
Now,
reorientation of the way we see
Professor
this country.
Yisa, we
Yeah.
talk about security, so many promises from this administration, but security has remained one problem in this country. Which area or what do you think this administration can do differently to tackle this lingering issue?
First, security in this country comes in different forms. The very popular ones, the most common ones, the kind of thing that is happening in the Northeast now. Of course, we all know about kidnapping, which has now become a national pastime for some. And for some, in fact, it's become an economic activity. But we also have the problem of security related to agriculture. I know agriculture is one of the mainstays of this economy. And this has to do with the herders-farmer clashes. I believe, by virtue of the experience that the president has had as governor of Lagos State, a state that was not a particularly easy state to manage security-wise, he would do well. I'm happy that the security officers, the big guys in the security industry, and he has given them his own mandate that, look, I want it in this country so that...
Professor Yisa, I don't know if you can
Yes.
hear me. This issue of security, as you said, comes in different folds and in different forms. And we will talk about this
Right.
issue, we will talk about from now till tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming
Right.
on the program. For time, we will have to cut our discussion here, but we'll promise we'll get back to
Okay.
you on more issues when we need you.
Okay.
Thank you for coming on the news.
All right. You're welcome. I appreciate it.
All right. We have been speaking with Professor Yisa Kende Yusuf, a public affairs analyst from Obafemi Awolowo University, and we have been discussing President Tinubu's inaugural speech. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more stories after this.
Irin tashin hankalin da ke biyo bayan yaƙi, babu ruwansa da ko kai wane ne, ƙabilarka ko kuma addininka. Idan yaƙi ya zo, ritsawa ike yi da kowa mai kuɗi ko talaka. An lalata komai, babu sauran abin moriya. Idan aka yi yaƙin basasa a ƙasa, babu wanda ike yin nasara domin kowa sai ya yi asara. A zub da jinin waɗanda ba su ji ba ba su gani ba, a jefa su cikin masifa babu gaira babu dalili, duk a sakamakon yaƙi. Mu baiwa sojojinmu haɗin kai da goyon baya domin ganin sun yi nasara akan aikinsu. Kada mu sake mu yi wani abin da zai ƙara musu matsala akan wacce suke fuskanta. Babu abin da ya fi tattaunawa daɗi. Kada mu sake mu yi abin da zai rarraba kawunanmu. Za mu fi ƙarfi da daraja a dunkule. Nigeria ƙasa ɗaya ce, al'umma ɗaya. Kasancewar mu al'umma ɗaya shine ƙarfi da daraja a gare mu, kuma shine abin sha'awa a duniya.
Welcome back. Now to education. More than 70,000 candidates sat for the 2023 National Common Entrance Examination nationwide. Hadiza Godwin Ebune, who visited some centers in the FCT, reports that the FCT has one of the highest numbers of enrollments.
Director, FCT Education Resource Center, Nimat Abdurrahim, who led the team on the monitoring of the National Common Entrance Examination, said the conduct of the examination at some centers in the city center indicates that the concept of education goes beyond writing and passing examinations. She stressed the need for intellectual formation as it is paramount in children's educational development.
Some of the things we look out for when we go out like this is to ascertain that the question papers are the original question paper from the examination body. Like today, we are certain that the examination questions are from NECO, and also to be sure that there are compliance, there are no compromise by the supervisors, vigilators, and also to be sure that the students are well arranged and well spaced, and there is no any form of exam malpractice during the conduct of the examination.
The candidates say they are looking forward to move to the next level and also understand what it means to be in secondary school.
It was good because I studied how to achieve it. The examination is easy because I studied for it. I want to attend FGBC in Garki.
The examination is expected to admit students into the 110 unity colleges spread across the country. Hadiza Godwin Ebuni, NTA News.
The popular UTC market in Ereturn was this Saturday demolished by the officials and bulldozers of the FCT Development Control Department. As at the time of this report, our correspondent said neither the Development Control Department officials nor the affected traders could be reached for comments on development. After hours of the demolition exercise, traders are still in shock. We're seen evacuating the remainders of their valuables to a safer location. You posted on more developments on the matter and the area. The demolished UTC market before now was a huge commercial hub in the center of Abuja with great daily business interactions and transactions. Abuja, Nigeria's capital city, has continued to evolve with growing infrastructure supporting its aesthetics. Successive FCT administration have also been seen to be consciously maintaining the master plan of the city. Abdullahi Ajia in this report examines progress made in the last 8 years and areas that will require the attention of the new administration.
In its more than 40 years of creation as Nigeria's capital city, Abuja has grown in leaps and bounds, evolving to the aesthetic beauty and taste of its founding fathers. Expectedly, the infrastructure growth and development has today contributed to the city's attractiveness and invitation to people from across the globe. With government being a continuum, the former administration inherited a number of infrastructure projects conceptualized for the socio-economic well-being of Nigerians. In the 8 years, many of these projects have been completed, with some spread across the nooks and crannies of the territory at an appreciable levels of completion.
In spite of all the challenges of the late passage of our statutory budget, we have been able to be on top of our situation, especially in the areas of this project delivery.
As it is not yet at its destination of design, the infrastructure upgrade of Nigeria's Pride City, observers say, will have to continue with the new administration, especially in the areas of very critical infrastructure such as roads, water, to unbundling of traffic bottlenecks, provision of social amenities and security gadgets to safeguard lives and property.
There's a need for modern transportation system like rail and, if possible, conveniences, toilets, and the parks and recreation centers should be improved. And also the government policies, such as hotels and things like that, should be more customer friendly, so that investors can come in.
Residents and indeed Nigerians are expressing high hopes for all this to materialize as the new administration settles down for business of governance. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
Abuja to Kaduna standard gauge train has added 2 additional trips on the corridor, now making it 4 daily. Statement by the Nigerian Railway Corporation shows that the additional trips will commence operations from Sunday, 4th June 2023, comprising of 2 trips from Abuja and another 2 trips from Kaduna. However, Wednesdays are exempted for maintenance. Recent studies show that there is a sudden rise in cardiovascular-related deaths in Nigeria. The good news, however, is the intervention of a non-governmental organization, CardioCare, which is collaborating with international partners to carry out cardiovascular outreach with a view to reducing the rise in cases in Nigeria and Africa. Cecilia Julius brings us details from the outreach in Abuja.
The cardiologist now saw me at least like 2-3 times, and I was placed on this procedure, which they did yesterday. That it was successful.
Operate me. I was feeling very bad yesterday, but now I'm feeling better.
These senior citizens are beneficiaries of the cardiovascular intervention outreach by CardioCare. The medical body, in partnership with international bodies, says the intervention is a bold step towards improving access to standard healthcare services in Africa to reduce cardiovascular risk.
Heart diseases are not a death sentence in most of the cases. Yes, the survival for heart failure is still about 50% survive in 5 years, but there's been significant improvement in technology and medications, which are available now, and they're available here in Nigeria across several centers in the country.
Pace for Life are basically dedicated to the cause in Africa, sending pacemakers, ICDs to the continent to try and save people's lives, basically, prolong people's lives and save their lives.
We're working with organizations like My Heart, Your Heart, Pace for Life, Arrhythmia Alliance, and other partners to get donated devices, to get donated products, and pass these along to the patients to save them money so that they can all get the devices that they require.
The group, therefore, is advocating improved health insurance system to accommodate treatment of the disease, while calling for more reportage of cardiovascular disease in Nigeria. Cecilia Julius, NTA News.
And that's our time on Saturday Discourse. Thanks and have a good evening.